This like blows a 19-year-old Chris or any of these guys out of the water at this age. Like that's nuts.
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with 8 weeks out physique update from Colossus Ken. So we are looking at a guy who is gonna make the most anticipated pro debut in the men's open bodybuilding this year. And that too at such a big show. And the reason I'm saying that, you rarely see this kind of size on a rookie who has yet to stand next to some of the biggest names in the men's open bodybuilding, as the man is doing this upcoming New York Pro. And that show is certainly gonna have a very deep lineup. So there is some unbelievable difference in Ken's physique from the time he turned pro to what we are seeing right now. And his current size is just nuts. The size that Ken was able to put on, and that too in just 1.5 years. That is as impressive as it gets. And all that's left at this point to see is how shredded and peeled he can get for his first ever pro show. Because if he truly peaks right, and the way he's supposed to, for this upcoming New York Pro, I am 100% certain that he's gonna take out some very big names at that show. Because chances are, this guy isn't gonna be easily outmuscled by any of the guys who are gonna be there at the New York Pro. For instance, Regan Grimes, Michael Crizo, possibly Martin and Nick Walker as well. The most impressive aspect of this transformation is that Ken's waist is coming in very nicely, even after all that size that he put on. Because that's always a risk, which we all know ruins the physiques, trying to get too big too fast. But that isn't the case with Ken. Now some of the off-season looks that we saw from Ken before he started this prep, they were truly mind-blowing. The man looked like a true freak of nature. He has that crazy wow factor, and he must have amazing stage presence on the stage. So that is based on all the updates that we have been getting. He's certainly an exciting talent, and a young talent in the men's open class. And I believe a promising career to really look forward to in 2025. Guys, Hostile is dropping some new merchandise today. So stay tuned and use the code Fazi10 to get 10% extra discount. So the 19 years old bodybuilding sensation, Albertas Cornex, the young guy who is going for his pro card, in 8 weeks time, he's trending everywhere. So how many times? The most successful classic physique athlete and the greatest of all time in classic physique, Cbum talked about the role that his brother-in-law and his coach Ian Valier played in his career. So Ian was the one who coached Cbum into getting his pro card and then helped him win 3 Olympia titles. So listen to what Ian has to say when he compares Alberta's 19 years old physique to how Chris looked at 19.
Can't think of a single active pro that looked as good at 19. Zero, you know?
Do I know how to find him?
Classic.
Do I know how to find him or what?
Oh man, this is wild. This like blows a 19-year-old Chris or any of these guys out of the water at this age. Like that's nuts.
So that is some seriously high praise coming from a guy who coached one of the greatest athletes of the past decade. And the crazy thing is that this is just the start of the career for Albertas. So we got some more information on what his classic physique weight cap is gonna be for this upcoming pro qualifier in 8 weeks time. And is sitting comfortably 15 pounds above that classic physique weight cutoff. Which by the way should not be an issue whatsoever because 8 weeks is plenty of time. But great to see that Albertas is also open to the idea of pursuing the men's open division in the future if his body wants to grow. So the sooner he makes that decision that the men's open class is imminent for him in the future, the better it is gonna be for him, for his career. Because the man is so young and he has plenty of time to get bigger, to grow, to put on more muscle in all the right areas. So the classic example here is of Stefan Matala. Now we all knew he would have been better in the men's open bodybuilding. And all of us kept on saying that since the time he came onto the scene. And even though he saw some success in classic physique, but I'm gonna go as far as saying this, he kind of wasted an important phase of his career by staying in classic. So how do you guys rate Albertas' physique and also his potential and what his ceiling can be? Next up, we have an update from Roman Fritz, the guy who competed a record number of times in one calendar year, and that was back in 2023, when this guy did a total of 10 shows, and he really made a name for himself, especially on his ability to come in dry and shredded in every single show that he entered. So the man looks quite a bit downsized here, right now, as per his own off-season standards. And the reason is, he went through another hip replacement surgery earlier this year. So considering that, I have got to say massive respect for Roman Fritz on having those massive quads. Despite having that same hip problem for many years, in fact, his quads are the best part of his physique. And with the kind of genetics that Roman has, he will always be fighting to build up the upper body to create more of a balance between his upper and lower half. So the last show that Roman did, that was at the end of 2023. Now he did not compete at all last year in order to make some necessary improvements, and the man is well on his way in the rebuilding process. Now for a guy like Roman to earn his second pro win and also his second Olympia qualification, he's gonna have to be very strategic about the show that he is planning to do in 2025. The IFBB raising the prize money, that is awesome, that is great, but not for everyone, because if every top IFBB pro they start doing multiple pro shows every year, there will be less and less opportunities for guys like Roman Fritz to qualify for the Olympia. So Martin Fitzwater just released never before seen pictures of him a few days out of Prague Pro last year, and those are perfect definition of the sentence mass with class. At this point, one can easily say that Martin has some of the best looking quads in the men's open right now, and that sweep along with that tiny waistline, the way his physique flows overall, that has what made him so damn combative among the top ranks even at the Olympia level. I mean, the guy is the fourth best bodybuilder in the world right now. So Prague Pro wasn't the best look for Martin exactly, because he tore his hamstrings on the stage and he wasn't as professional in every aspect, especially in terms of posing and presentation and holding your own as Cbum was. But the man was still able to beat him because he is just so thick and he has so much more muscle than Cbum. Now the fact that those pictures are from last year, and since then Martin has put on some quality muscle that makes him even more dangerous for this year. Now I am very sure he's very mindful of keeping his lines as they are while putting on more muscle, while getting bigger, because that is his biggest calling card, his shape and his aesthetics, along with that insane density. And the reason I'm saying that he's gonna be very mindful is because of his height, and he just cannot afford to get even a bit blockier. And not that he was lacking anything in the back shots, but there will definitely be more density and more maturity in that aspect this time around. Now, as a fan of bodybuilding, I for one am so damn excited for this insane battle between Martin and Nick Walker at this year's Pittsburgh Pro. So after placing fourth at the Olympia last year, at his Olympia debut, Martin is riding that momentum, but he's gonna face a very tough competitor at his first show of the year in the form of the Mutant. Next up, we have an update from Logan Franklin, who was the most classic looking guy on the Arnold stage 2.5 weeks back, and he took everyone by surprise by showing up at his all-time best and beating guys he just never beat before. That being said, the second place at the Arnold, that did not help him secure his Olympia spot for 2025. So is there a show that Logan is looking forward to do, let's say in a month? Well, the answer to that question is no. He's back to the drawing board, and the one thing that Logan needs to work on, that is his back width. That was the area where Mike Sommerfeld was head and shoulders above him. And we have to keep in mind, Logan has around 3 to 4 pounds to play with before he reaches that classic physique weight cap. So what made Logan really stand out in this kind of lineup, that was his unbelievable conditioning. He was more crispy than Mike and also Michael the Bull, which is saying something. And that was also an accurate representation of what a perfect bodybuilding peak looks like. And I have got to say, finally, Logan has found a great coach in the form of Patrick Tuor. So Logan will have zero problems qualifying for the Olympia this year with his superb showing at this past Arnold. And he also solidified himself as a potential top 6 Olympian. But how far will he go with Urs, Ramon and Terrence? That is something that we will find out at the Olympia in October this year. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.